Welcome to Business Chats from my bedroom. I'm Dawn Bradley and you're in for one heck of a YouTube video. Buckle up, friend. Today I'm going to reveal to you the 5 secrets to being a successful hairstylist in 2021 because times have changed. Last year threw a wrench into our industry that we did not expect, and we have to step up now and start doing things differently and showing up differently. But the good news is that you can be successful still, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do that in this video. Plus, I have a really exciting surprise I'm going to share with you at the end. So make sure to stick around till the end of this video. You're not going to want to miss this. Oh my gosh, it's so freaking good. Now, let's just take a quick second and talk about the word success. Success can take on lots of different meanings for people. I'm not just meaning monetary success, which I don't want you to get confused. Like, I want you to make money. I want you to have the money you've always dreamed of. But it's not always about making the money. And that's why I'm sharing these secrets with you today, is because success is about feeling good from the inside out. It's about achieving goals in a way that when you get there, you feel good about the way you got there. You didn't do some slimy, sleazy way about climbing your way to success or to the top. I know you care deeply about your clients, and that's a beautiful thing. And that's why I want you to feel success from the inside out. And that's when all these types of different successes fall in alignment. I don't want you to hustle and grind. I don't want you to be working like crazy just to hit a dollar amount. I want you to have a life, a business, and a bank account that you love. That's what's important. All right, secret number 1. Find somebody who's been where you are right now, who's gone through the same things, who feels the same way as you, that you admire where they're at now, and learn from them. Spend time with them. Invest in them and in yourself. Learn the ways that someone else has done it, or find out what didn't work for them so that you can avoid the speed bumps, the detours, the roadblocks that they had to go through. One of the best things I ever did for my business, and I did it far too late, let me tell you this. I had this pride thing about doing things on my own, being independent. But the moment I started to learn from somebody and invest in somebody else to invest in myself was the moment I started to fast track my business. Could I learn things on my own? Yes. And a lot of things I have learned on my own through trial and error and years of maybe this and maybe that, and it's doable, but it takes far longer than learning from somebody who's been where you are right now, who's struggled with the things you're struggling with, but got to the other side and can show you and guide you a way through it and around it and over it. That's the least amount of work, the least struggle, and to help you get to your goals quicker. So hairstylists in 2021 that are going to be successful are going to find mentors, are going to find guides, are going to find educators and leaders that understand them, that they relate to, that they can learn from, so that they don't have to do the trial and error and all the different ways of learning the hard way. There's nothing amazing about saying you learned it the hard way. It's okay to learn from somebody else and avoid the detours and it's like trying to drive without a map. You know, we kind of know, I'm sorry if you're a man watching this, but guys don't like to use maps and they get lost and it takes way longer and they're like, no, it's fine. I know the way. I don't know if you guys have anybody in your life like that. Instead, open up a map. It tells you the quick way to get there. Doesn't that make way more sense? Find someone to be your map, to be your guide. And yeah, sometimes you might hit a roadblock or a detour that wasn't on the map. But I tell you this, when I started investing in mentors and finding leaders and guides to learn from, whether it's free education or paid education or being part of mentorship groups, that was the moment that things changed and my success went way through the roof. All right, secret number 2 is know where you're headed. If you don't know where you're wanting to get to, how are you ever going to get there? I have this saying where I said your beliefs are like a compass. You head in the direction of what you believe is possible. You need to have an end destination in mind. Now, I'm not a big goal setter and person like that. I like mantras and stuff like that, but I'm not big on New Year's, writing down all my goals, but I know the general direction and place I want to end up. And so if you don't know where you're headed, you're never going to get there. But also you need to believe that it's possible for you to get to where you're going. So that saying, your beliefs are like a compass, you're going to head in the direction of what you believe is possible. If you don't think what you want is possible, you're not going to go there. And so the one analogy I like to use, and because this legit happened to a girl that I knew when we were in grade 7, is we were walking down the street and she was talking to me and she was looking at me and not looking where she was going. And she walked right into a bus stop pole. If you don't know, if you're not looking, if you're not focused on where you're going, you're going to veer off track. If you're walking to a tree across the street, if you look at it, you're going to get there. But I want you to, well, be careful if you try this, but try this maybe in your living room. Venture out to go to an object, but look the opposite direction. You'll all of a sudden realize that you're going to not quite hit where you're going, because if you don't focus where you're going, you're not going to get there. And I want to tell you a story about Sarah Mitchell, because this is really cool. She decided to invest in my program, Rock Your Business, and she was excited. It was different than what she had been part of before, and she was craving something different. But all of a sudden, as soon as she pressed that buy button, she got a little spooked. She got scared. She got fearful. She's like, what did I just do? And she got scared that she couldn't, she wasn't believing in where she was wanting to go. So she actually requested a refund for my program. And I know you're like, what, Dawn, why are you sharing this on this YouTube video? But it's so cool because she reached out to our team, let us know she was feeling overwhelmed. And I replied back to her, letting her know, like, you don't need to be overwhelmed. You've got this. This program is actually designed for someone just like you where you're at. And it was in that moment she shifted the way she thought about herself. She shifted in her head how she thought about her success and what she was capable of doing. We've since done a podcast together. She's come live on Instagram with me and shared her story about the mindset shift that happened when she started to believe, I can actually follow through on this. I can actually get to where I'm going. And oftentimes we think things are possible, we start to do them, and then we get freaked out that we aren't capable of doing it. We don't believe that we're worthy of that success, or we're allowed to have that success, or that it's possible. And so know that whatever you think, and I know this is a little woo-woo-y, but just go with me. Truly, if you don't think something's possible, it doesn't matter how possible it can be, you're going to prove it right. You're going to prove that it's not doable. So if you don't believe in yourself and what you're capable of doing, then you won't achieve the thing that you're going after. You first of all have to believe that it is possible for you to get there. Even if you don't know how or why or, when, or if you don't know all the details, that's okay. You just need to believe that it's possible, and then you can start taking the steps towards it. Because let's talk about manifesting for a second now. I know this might turn people off. Manifesting is a great idea, but without follow through, right? Like if I say I'm going to manifest an elephant in my bedroom, and every morning I'm going to say, I want an elephant to come pop up in here. Will an elephant ever come? No. But I think believing in things are possible, it encourages you to take steps towards making that possible. So if I really wanted an elephant, which I don't, I would start, looking for ways to import an elephant. I would make the steps necessary. I don't think just believing things makes things happen, but trusting and believing that it's possible helps you and helps push you and guide you into taking the steps necessary to achieving it. So trust your gut feeling, trust that it's possible, believe that you are allowed to have the success that you want, just like Sarah. So I want you to believe that you deserve the success that you crave, because it is possible, it's out there, and I can't wait for you to achieve it, just like Sarah. Secret 3, charge prices you've only dreamed of. I want you to make big, bold moves. Now, I'm not telling you to just go and throw a number out there and charge without understanding why or how, but a lot of our industry is undercharging and they don't even realize it. A lot of our industry doesn't understand their finances. And I know as soon as I say that, some of you are like sweating buckets and thinking, I do hair, I don't do numbers, this freaks me out. It's okay, I get it. I want to make this simple for you. So you need to know what everything is costing you. You need to know what your costs of your business are. So go through your bank statements, through your credit cards, look at what your monthly costs are. All of a sudden you'll realize that maybe what you're charging isn't enough. I've had students realize that they weren't even taking home minimum wage, but they thought they were charging too much because of the end number that they were telling their client. Now I know when we get self-employed or even as a commission stylist, we freak out over this number. For me, it used to be $200. I didn't like to charge my clients over $200. It felt weird. I thought, who would ever want to pay over $200? Even if they bought 10 products, I would still emotionally discount because I was the one taking the money from them. And I felt like I was reaching into their pocket, taking $200 out and putting it into my pocket and going to go out and party later. And when reality, when I started having an understanding over my finances, and it doesn't have to be scary and hard, believe me, I teach this stuff in my programs. It's doable for us hairstylists who numbers aren't our game. But when I started to understand how much my rent cost me per client, and how much the color cost me, and how much my supplies and all that stuff added up, I realized I wasn't taking home $200. My business was charging the client. The business got paid. The business paid its expenses. And if there was anything left over, it went to me. And having that aha moment and having that insight made me realize, holy crap, I'm not taking money out of these people's pockets. My business is getting paid. My business has to pay its expenses. Now, I want to tell you about Casey Taylor because holy freaking cow, this girl is amazing. She lives in a small town of 6,000 people in East Texas. She, because of COVID in 2020, getting my years mixed up because wasn't 2020 like a decade long? COVID hit her hard. She was working in a small town and she was on track to only make $37,000 this year. But after going through my program and after understanding her finances and realizing that she needed to make a significant price increase, and let me tell you, she shared with me, some of her prices went up $75. Now, I'm not saying go at like raise your price to $75. She did the equation. She realized she was undercharging and she realized that not all of her appointments, but some of her appointments need to be raised significantly in order to make a profit in her business. She was scared. She was terrified. She did it anyway, and her business is thriving. She's set to make $87,000 this year. Like $50,000 more because she understood what she was charging or what she wasn't charging. She reevaluated, she put it into place. She wasn't scared to do it. She wasn't scared to make big, bold moves. And maybe she lost a couple clients, but she's still okay because she knows how to get new clients in her chair. She knows her worth, she knows her value, she knows how to communicate it, and she's charging properly. Successful hairstylists in 2021 charge properly and correctly and understand why they're charging what they're charging so that their business can thrive. Secret number 4, attract only the most ideal clients by doing what no one else is willing to do. Now, I got to tell you, because we were just kind of talking about this with Casey, like she raised her prices. And yeah, of course, the immediate fear about like, well, Dawn, if I raise my prices or if I start charging correctly, like all my clients will leave me because they'll be upset. Now, some clients might leave you, but ain't no thing when you know how to attract ideal, perfect dream clients. So I want to actually tell you about Lauren Barton because she's freaking phenomenal as well. I think I maybe use those exact same words for Casey, but Lauren lives in a small town again. So if you're sitting there thinking, these are great, but I'm in a small town, busted. Like both Casey and Lauren are from small towns. Lauren is from West Virginia, lives in a small town, doubled her prices. Now, once again, I'm not saying to just go and slap on $75 or double your prices. They figured out the method, figured out what their costs were, and realized they were undercharging, and this is what came up. I remember working with Lauren, and she was terrified. She's like, Dawn, I did the formula. Like it says to double them. And I was like, do you want to do this? She's like, yeah, I know I'm worth it. She changed her whole business structure, but she knew that she was going to be okay because she knew how to attract ideal clients. And I know it's scary in small towns sometimes. Like, is anyone going to come? Like, is there enough people? What if everyone leaves? Lauren made that big, bold move of changing her structure of her business because she felt confident in the ability of attracting new clients. Now, I remember in the thick of it, because I want to be real with you guys. You know, I'm all about honesty and being straightforward. In the thick of it, people started canceling appointments when she announced her new price structure. And I remember her reaching out to me and being like, Dawn, like, oh my gosh, like it's happening. And I was like, remember, we prepared for this. We knew that people were going to leave. It's going to be okay. Do you still believe that you can attract new clients? Yep. Do you believe that you're worth these prices? 100%. You're going to be okay. The whole point of her doing a lot of this restructuring was to slow down. Lauren had been working 12 days a week, like 6 days a week, 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, 12 days a week. That's impressive. I don't know what calendar that's on. She'd been working 12-hour days, 6 days a week. She was exhausted, burnt out, tired, and realized, yeah, this is great money because I'm working like 2 full-time jobs, right? So she needed to scale back. She needed to trust that she was worth it, and she needed to know that she would attract people who saw that value. Guess what? Lauren is freaking thriving. This is over 2 years now that it's been a year and a half since she did this, 2 years since she decided to. It took a couple months to get it implemented, and she's still got a line of people trying to book with her. She works 4 days a week. She is a boss. She is doing things the way she wants to do them. She was willing to do things no one else was wanting to do. She was willing to push herself. and she knew how to attract clients that saw value in her. And so the secret to a successful hairstylist, one of them in 2021, is be willing to do things that no one else is willing to do. Be willing to take risks, knowing and trusting that you are worth it, your value is there, and you're doing things properly. That's like the biggest thing, is like knowing why you're charging what you're charging and why you're setting up your systems and your schedule the way you're doing it. When you know why, and it's not just like, time to raise my prices, time to not work Saturdays. If you're not able to explain that or have the understanding behind it, you're not able to communicate that to your clients and have them understand. The more you can educate your clients on how and why you're doing things, the better they're going to understand, trust you, believe you, and be invested in you. So Lauren's story, you've got to check it out. Like, she's been on the podcast. The Anxious Creative is my podcast. Her story is phenomenal. So when you know how to attract ideal clients into your business, you don't have to stress about making the schedule changes, the price changes, whatever changes you're wanting to do, because you know that you can always find new people. When I first moved to Calgary 6 years ago, I knew no one. I built my clientele in under 12 weeks, months in advance, from the basement of my rental home. And I probably flipped my clientele, I would say, in the last 6 years 4 times, because I decided I had goals and dreams in my business, and I wasn't going to let the fear of losing clients hold me back from making the changes and the steps towards it. I knew that each and every time that I took a step up, I might lose clients, but I realized the secret sauce is the fact that attracting ideal clients is at the epicenter of my career. It's not, you don't always attract clients at the beginning and hope that they all stay with you the whole time. Know that every change you make, every investment in yourself, every schedule change, price increase, you're going to lose people, and then you just have to find new people. And that's what Lauren did, and that's what many other hairstylists are doing that are succeeding and going to blow the top off of this glass ceiling in our industry this year. Secret 5 to being a successful hairstylist in 2021 is get out of your freaking comfort zone. Ooh, I know getting uncomfortable is not always the most fun thing to do, but that is where growth happens. And I have to tell you about Jen Shattuck, because she is someone that has transformed over the last year. I remember when I first got to know Jen, she was, would get caught up on her words, nervous about talking, and now she talks so much. And she actually shared her story with me about how when she first started into business for herself, she was nervous. She's an anxious individual like myself, and she seemed to attract anxious clients. And she said her words would just disappear. She wouldn't know what to say. And through working through that and getting uncomfortable over the last year, she has learned to lean into being uncomfortable. That helps her grow. And now she talks a mile a minute. She is the sweetest person I know. And that is such an amazing story of someone getting uncomfortable, especially when it comes to anxiety. You guys know I have a podcast. It's called The Anxious Creative for a reason. I know that feeling of getting uncomfortable in your business and in your life, having tough conversations, being able to have honest conversations. If you haven't heard me talk about it before, it's not about confrontation, it's about honesty. It's not confrontational conversations, it's honest conversations. If you're willing to get a little uncomfortable, just like Lauren, Casey, and Sarah all did to do their own things, if you're willing to get a little uncomfortable, it's not painful, just a little uncomfortable, you're going to see growth like never before. And if you want to have a successful 2021, you need to get a little uncomfortable. You need to trust the discomfort. Just like growing muscles or getting fit, it's like the best analogy I can use. Your muscles get sore before they get stronger. You got to push yourself and get a little uncomfortable. So I want you to ask yourself right now, how can I get a little uncomfortable? If what I've been doing keeps getting me the same results, what do I need to do differently this year? Maybe it's one of these 5 things. Maybe it's maybe it's a couple of them, or maybe one really hit a nerve, maybe even that you were like, oh, I don't know if I want to do that. Or no, Dawn, I want you to examine that a little bit more. If you felt resistance to any of these things, I want you to look at that and go, if you want what you haven't been getting, what do you need to do differently? If you keep doing the same thing, you're going to keep getting the same result. How can you get yourself a little bit uncomfortable now, this week, this month, this year, in order to see growth and success in the ways you want it? Maybe for you, it's about having more of a life, spending more time with your family, friends, and loved ones, but you're a workaholic and you don't know how to take the step back. That was Lauren. When she started going down from 6 days a week to 4 days a week, she's like, it feels weird. And I remember her legit reaching out to me with a message being like, my only issue now is what to do with my free time. I don't know what to do with this now. That's real. I want you to know, for those of you that are workaholics, that's a legit thing. We don't know what to do when we're not working. Or maybe for you, it's I need to bring in another $10,000 this year. How are you going to get yourself uncomfortable? How are you going to maybe talk about upsells, retail. Maybe it's about charging better prices. Maybe it's all these different things that you need to get yourself uncomfortable, that you've always felt slimy and shady about telling your clients about the tools that you sell or the retail or the other services you provide or asking them for referrals. How can you commit to getting uncomfortable? Because that is where true growth happens. And that combined with the rest of these is what's going to give you so much success in 2021. So if you want to be the most successful you in 2021, whatever success looks like to you, I want to make sure that you are signed up for my free class. The link is below, donbradley.com/free class. We're diving into the 5 pillars that make up a successful hairstylist, digging in deep into them. I want you to bring your notebook, bring your favorite pen, light a candle, get in a quiet room. We're going to have so much fun. So go check out that link, sign up. It's so killer. I've already done one of them already. We had so much fun. Stylists are having huge aha moments. I'm actually sticking around live to answer your Q&A, so we can actually hang out in real life on the internet. It's going to be so good. But also I want to share with you, I told you I have a special announcement that you do not want to miss. I want to let you know that if you want to take this one step further, that you're ready to invest in your business and be guided by someone who knows what you're going through, that understands that anxiety, that overwhelm, that burnout, that fear, that what am I doing feeling. I want to be your mentor. And enrollment for my program, Rock Your Business, is officially open, and I would love to welcome you in. So whether you take part in the free class or you dive right into Rock Your Business, know that I am so excited to be part of this journey with you. The RYB alumni, holy cow, just like go check the link down here in the description, all about Rock Your Business. Check it out. Check out the stories of people just like Lauren, Casey, Sarah, and Jen, people that have gotten amazing results in their businesses that they never thought were possible, that they didn't know that they were even able to achieve. People just like you from small towns, people that have anxiety, people that didn't know that they were able or it was possible for them to achieve the things they wanted to. So I wanted you to know that enrollment is open for Rock Your Business. You're invited in. I would love to have you in. It's a place where everyone belongs, no matter where you're from, what your walk of life is. It is a place of community, of love and acceptance, and of no judgment for us to grow our lives and our businesses together. So check out that link below. But as always, check out these videos that I've specially picked for you, and we'll see you next week.